In this video, I'm going to cover some work in building blocks. We've already done a little bit of this for the furniture that you created in a couple weeks ago. Now we're going to add some architectural elements to our floor plan, and it would be best to create blocks for them. The blocks that we're going to make are for the doors and windows. We're going to have one size door, and I'll show you how to make one size block for the windows. The first one will be the door, and this will give us an opportunity to talk a little bit about layers and also the pick points. So I'm over here on the side of my house plan file, and what I'm going to do is make sure my layer is set to 0, and I'm going to begin by making a line that is 36 inches long. Okay, so I'm going to type in distance. Let's just check endpoint to endpoint. 3 feet, same thing as 36 inches. Now, what I'm going to do next is draw the door panel. So I'm going to type in rectangle. You could also use the rectangle tool. I'm going to snap to the end point here, and I'm going to make a panel that's roughly this size. I'm going to be specific about these dimensions, 1.75, comma, 36. Okay. So again, this is my door panel. I type in distance to check it. It should be 1 3/4, which is the same as 1.75. When I come down here, 3 feet is the same as 36 inches, right? So this is the door panel, the actual door itself. Now, in an architectural plan, you may find several sizes for doors. For our project, we're going to make them all 36 inches. For example, for let's say a bedroom, you may see a door that's 32 inches, and you're welcome to make your own blocks these different sizes. But just to kind of go through the exercise of creating one is really all we're trying to do here. So other components of our door, and this is a common graphic that you'll find on architectural plans. If I go to the arc tool and I select start, center, end, I can create an arc that swings like this. So the start point will be this point, the center will be this point, the end point will be the upper left-hand corner of the door panel, right? This is the swing of the door. And if you look at architectural floor plans, you'll see this is fairly common. All right, the last component that needs to be included in our block is the frame. Now I'm going to construct this frame with a series of lines. I'll start with the line tool, or you can just type L at the command line. And I'm going to make my frame 1.5 inches to the left, press enter. There is part of my frame. I'm going to make another line that's 5 units downward, 5, enter. And while I'm still in the command, I'll go to the left side and I'll do 1.5 again. Right, so this is the door frame. The wall will come along here and then turn, or whatever that particular condition might be. I'm going to repeat these lines over on the right side. Line from endpoint, 1.5, line from this endpoint down 5, and to the right 1.5. Right, so these are all of the components necessary for my block. Now it's time to make the block. So our block command is D. The name for this block will be door. The pick point will be right here, right on the upper left part of the frame. And when I click on select objects, I'm going to include everything there. I don't need to change anything else, and click on OK. All right, so now we have first block constructed, and it's time to insert it. Now, it's already a block over here, so I could just copy this, but I want to show you how to bring in a block if you haven't already inserted one. You would type in I for insert. When this panel comes up, you can double click on the block that you made. And I'm going to place this one right here. Okay. Now, a few revisions need to happen. Right now, my wall is pulling through the door, and you can't have that. So I'm going to click on that line, and I'm going to drag the grip to not to where the arc ends, but where the frame ends. Same thing down here. I'm going to click on this line, and I'm going to drag it to where the frame ends. Okay. Now, I need for the wall to complete itself, so I'll use the fillet command to join the two lines. Fillet, fillet. Okay, so now I have this door sitting within the walls. The last thing that needs to happen with it is to change the layer. Right now it's on layer 0, but because I built it on layer 0, it has the unique ability to be able to move to another layer and adopt the properties of that layer. So right now it's on the layer A door, and it's magenta because that's the color that I assigned a door. Likewise, if I wanted to, and you don't need to do this, I'm just to illustrate this, if I wanted to put it on the G sheet layer, it would adopt the properties of that layer. Move it back to a door. Right. A couple things about the placement of doors. One thing is that you always want them to swing against the wall. So for example, if I was to flip this around and open it in this direction, that's really awkward to enter a room. And you have to kind of almost fully open it to enter. It's much better to swing a door against a wall. And the other thing to keep in mind is that doors normally swing into rooms, not out. So there are exceptions. If you have a really small space, like let's say a closet, you don't want the door to swing in because then you have no place to store anything. Those doors might open out into a hallway or to a room, but for the most part, doors open inward. Now, I'm just going to go around and start introducing doors in different locations. Let's see here. So I can either make a copy of this one or double click on this door, place it. I think for this one, I'm going to open the door. I'm going to make the door open from this point here. It'll swing like this. So I may need to manipulate it a little bit. I can use the mirror command to flip it so it has the right orientation. You may find that you need to rotate doors. In this case, I won't, but I'm going to move this one similarly to its place here, and I will drag the door. Oops, you can see I didn't bring it back far enough. I need to bring it to this point. Right, now what about this one here? This one is going all the way from this door corner to far to the left side. So I'm going to trim this one, but I'm also going to have to pull it back. Okay, so a little bit of work involved in getting these to meet the conventions of typical architectural plans. I need to close my wall here, so I'm going to put a line next to the frame. This one will be moved to a wall full layer. There's my second door. Right? I need a door maybe that enters into my vestibule. You know, this is the vestibule. I'm thinking that people would enter in this direction. So I'll add a door here. from my living room, I think I want the door to just open directly into, I don't want a door at all. I'm just going to leave this open, and I'm going to go around and repair some of these walls. For my exterior door, I think I'm going to have that door. Let's bring another one. I'm going to rotate it. So rotate tool, you'll find up here in the ribbon. You can pick a point anywhere and rotate it 90 degrees. I think I want this door to open like this, right? That way, when someone comes in the house, they're not able to see into the bedroom. This will involve some editing as well. Closer. Okay. Now, if you notice, these frames are only 5 inches, so I'm going to need to bring that forward. When I click on the door, I can drag it. Let's get here. Right. I'm also going to need to end the wall. I want to show you another quick tool. It's called Match. If I type in Match, Properties is the tool actual name. I can match this white line to be the layer that this one is. The source object is this. And then I pick it up. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing around the plan. Trim. You want to look for those cyan lines pulling all the way through on all of your doors. This one, let's move that to the lead door. All right. I think I'm also going to make my living room and dining room open up to one another. So I'm going to need a little line for this wall to stop. Use the trim command. I'm going to extend this one here to this point. Now I'll trim. I'd have to turn off the grid to trim in one shot, but okay. 3 picks is not too bad. Get rid of that. Let's match properties. Okay, so now I have this open space between living room and dining room. I'm going to put a back door here. So this time, maybe what I'll do is I'll use the mirror command. So let me show you how that would work in this case. If you go up to mirror and you select the door and you press enter, done picking objects. Let's see here. I'll probably just have to kind of move it around once I get it in proper orientation. So let's repeat those steps. You can see a little slower. Mirror, pick the door, enter. We're making an axis line. So if I want to have the door right here, I'm going to pick a line somewhere in here and snap again and enter. Now the creation of the block has been made, but I still need to move it around a bit. So let's move it to this location here. I'm going to click on that line and pull it through. And I'll do a little bit of releasing. Okay, now here we see that we have a sort of detail issue to resolve. You can see that if I completed this, the frame would be behind the door. So I have a couple of options here. One of them would be to make the hallway wider, which is fine. The other way would be to make a second block that's smaller. So let's see how far over would we need to go. I'm going to extend a line from this corner, and then I'm going to measure EIS. Enter, hit here, 3 inches. So I need my hallway to be 3 inches wider. I think I'm going to go with that option as opposed to making a new block. So how do I make this change quickly? Well, you could always move things down 3 inches and then do some trimming, but maybe a faster way would be to use the stretch tool. So I'm going to type in S for stretch, and I'm going to make a crossing. So a crossing is from right to left, and we'll see what color the crossing window is in a moment. Green. So I bring it down here. Okay, I'm done selecting, press enter. Pick a point with ortho on, because we don't want this to be angled. I'm going to input 3. Okay, let's do that again, so you can get another chance to see that. Okay. S for stretch, make a crossing. Crossings are from right to left. Press enter, pick a point, drag this down 3 units, 3 inches. And now I can continue with my trimming and cleaning up of the drawing. And I want to put this from layer 0 to the A wall layer. I can either click it and go from the pull down here, or I can use the match properties. Match source. Okay. This line is to be trimmed. All right, the only other room that could use a door, or actually maybe I need a couple of them. One of them is the kitchen, and this is an option. You could open the walls up here in your cases. What I'm going to do this time is I'm going to make a copy of the door. And I'm going to snap from my grid point to my grid point to place it. Right, I'm going to change this to a door, and I'm going to fix the walls. I'll need to use the trim tool here, and I'll need to cut these back. And maybe for my dining room, instead of putting a door, I'll just make an opening in the wall. I want to be able to get to the kitchen from the dining room. Trim, trim, trim. Let me do that. Why did I lose it? Let's drag this down. This point. Drag this down to this point. Watch those. Oops. Match properties. So now the doors are done. I can erase this extra one I made. This would be a very good time to save your file so you don't lose your work.